Let me say good morning. This is we're on the site of New Light, and I'm gonna call on Dr. Aisha Hilliard in a moment. I certainly do want to certainly acknowledge my council members, my two at-large council members, Councilmember David Robertson and Councilmember Sally Alcorn.
Thanks, Mayor.
Let me acknowledge them, and then they are also aiding in the water distribution, assisting other district council members and providing water as well. So I want to thank them for their participation. And then Director Carol Haddock is here, and Director Kenny Allen, Public Works and then Parks and Rec, who have been very instrumental, hands-on, and I want them to personally know that I appreciate their efforts. And then we're in the district. Trustee Kathy Bluford Daniels on HISD. Thank you, Madam Trustee. Appreciate you. I know she's hand-on. So I see Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee has joined us as well. So let's do this. Let me first bring up Susan Christian to talk about what's happening at this site. And then I'm going to call on the pastor, who's been very, very helpful, but I want to say a few other things about the pastor before she comes. So Susan, if you'll come and just describe what's taking place at this site.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Susan Christian, Director, Mayor's Office of Special Events. And Mayor, it's so good to join you. Your leadership has been awesome. And what I'm here to say is to tell you that all of our departments in the city of Houston have banded together, pulled together, and I'm so proud of our sister departments. We have fire department, police department, health department, community services. We have Parks and Recreation, Public Works, who have done just a yeoman's job of moving water around throughout the city. So I really want to thank them. So many other departments that have come together to serve the public. That's what we do in times of need, and I am so thankful for them. Secondly, we have corporations that have banded together to ensure that we have product. We have Silver Eagle distributors. Camillo, he just showed up, Mayor.
I was looking for him.
And they come every time we ask, they will pull together. So we're so happy to have that partnership. Also, the Astros Foundation. A lot of water came from the Astros Foundation. We just really are thankful for our sponsors. And all of this is for those people who are hurting so much. And many of, practically all of our helpers here have also been hurting. But it's just the heart of Houstonians that pull together, and the heart of the city of Houston in our effort to help our citizenry. And Mayor, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Susan. And Susan is Director of Special Events. I want to thank her team. And again, I want to emphasize my thanks to all of the city employees across all of the departments. Yesterday, the city, we ended up distributing about 1 million units, or maybe a little more than 1 million units on yesterday alone. As you know, we were in Northwest Houston on yesterday at Del Mar Stadium, and today we've taken the mass distribution site now to the northeast. But it's not just at the mass distribution sites, because we also want to make it accessible to people in various districts. So we are providing water to all of the district council members. We did that on Thursday, getting Friday, getting an additional supply to them today. And then we're also bringing in our at-large council members to kind of help supplement many of these district council members. And then Public Works and their team were out delivering water to several of our senior living facilities on last night, up until last night, 8 o'clock. So I want to thank them for their efforts in getting that water out. But I want to bring up the host of today's site in Northeast Houston, and we are in the council district of Councilmember Tasha Jackson. So is the councilman here?
He's not here, Mayor.
Okay, but we are in her district, and I certainly want to acknowledge Councilmember Tasha Jackson. But Dr. Aisha Hilliard is no stranger. This is not the first time assisting us. She heads the what I call the Health Equity Response Faith-Based Task Force. And let me give her all those labels. So when it comes to fighting and combating the coronavirus, she is working directly with that Health Equity Response Task Force headed by Shannon Buggs, a Complete Community, Janice Weaver, Juliet Sapetch, Marissa Aho, and so I really want to appreciate her. And there are two things that are taking place on this campus, with this, the mass water distribution, and then a New Life also have their food distribution. And so we are just partnering with them. This is something they do on a regular basis. And so we have joined with them to meet the needs of the people in the Northeast community. I cannot say thank you enough to New Light. Can't say thank you enough to the leadership of Pastor Aisha Harriet. Just been incredible, incredible leadership. So let me bring you up. Thank you.
Good morning, afternoon to everyone. I just want to say thank you to Mayor Turner, of course, Director Weaver, and everybody I've had a pleasure to work with. Of course, we give honor to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, but I want to thank the mayor for allowing us to partner with him today. As he said, every first and third Saturday of every month, we give out non-perishable food items at our Minnie's Food Pantry here on this campus. And so we have several campuses throughout the city, so it's a pleasure to partner today. So happy to just be a blessing to our city. We are stronger together, we're better together, and New Light is a caring church, and so this is what we do. So thank you, Mayor, for letting us be a part, and you still have time to come and make sure that you get water and food while supplies last.
And as Susan indicated, the reason why we're doing that is because we have some incredible partners. Civil Eagle, I cannot thank enough. They have been with us at Freedom Over Texas from the very beginning, 30 plus years. And again, you ask, they respond. And so I just want to thank Civil Eagle. So let me bring Cabela. Come on up. And Cabela, appreciate you.
Mayor, good to see you. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor, as always, to work with the city and with the departments and with our local government to make sure that we provide the kind of support the community expects from us. So as soon as we got the call, we scrambled. We were able to bring out about 35,000 units of water for today's distribution. And, thank you to all of you who are spreading the word about all the good work that's happening in Houston, because as a 40-year immigrant to Houston, Texas, I've had an opportunity to go somewhere else. Don't want to go anywhere else. Houston's where I want to be. So thank you for your support.
Thank you so very much. And then, of course, we want to thank the Astros Foundation for even providing water to this site as well. As you know, that they are providing water, 18,000 pallets in the Acres Home community this morning. So certainly want to thank them for their assistance. And then, of course, we're here at this site tomorrow. There's also scheduled to be partnering with Alex Bredman and his wife at the Butler location for another mass distribution site on tomorrow. So a lot of people have come on board. Let me just say we're still under the boil water notice. So let me just say that. And until we come out of it, there's going to be a tremendous need to provide people with drinking water. You can take a shower with it, with the water as it is, but you can't drink with it. So the bottled water is desperately needed. I certainly want to thank our grocers for stepping up, and we recognize still with a huge demand. We just have to all kind of come in and supplement one another's effort. Having said that, let me just ask people kind of hold on getting your car washed. I know it's a beautiful day. And normally in the city of Houston, people would rush to get their cars washed.
That's right.
I'm going to ask that you hold on that car washing, and I'm going to ask even car washing companies, businesses, if they will hold for this weekend. Let us get past this crisis, this challenge, and then you can proceed. I promise you, in the city of Houston, warmer days are coming, and you can go and get your cars washed. But for right now, when people are in line by the thousands and needing bottled water, and we're working to improve things, let me just ask that you hold for this weekend. And then with regards to the water, I want to thank Public Works again. They have been working around the clock to put us in a situation to get us out of this boil water notice. The system across the board has now normalized itself. You know, a couple of days ago, the water pressure, for example, was around averaging 29. And then on yesterday, we said between 32 and 34, 35. You want to be 35 and above across the entire system. But today, because of the efforts of Public Works, Director Carol Haddock and her team, we are above 50 PSI, above 50. So you should be seeing a noticeable improvement in your water pressure. And so, you know, I've said that the goal was to come out of this boil water notice. I said on Monday, a day or two on either end, could be Sunday, could be Tuesday, but Monday I thought I just want to, you know, we're just working around the clock. The team is working around the clock to expedite us coming out of it, but wanting to make sure that the quality of the water is good. And so they are doing a yeoman's job. We have one of the largest water systems in the entire country. So they're doing a yeoman's job. But let me bring up Director Carol Haddock for her report.
Good morning, everybody. As the mayor said, we have made significant progress. Wednesday night, we were at an average system pressure of 15 at one point. By the end of the day, Friday, we had a goal of being in a system-wide average pressure of 35, and we actually hit 55 last night. So we expected that to come a little off this morning whenever additional pipes began to thaw out, and we saw a little bit more use, and we have come back a little off, but we are still over 50 system-wide average, and we are actually at our normal operating pressure citywide. So what that means for all of you, even though we are still under a boil water notice, and I will still reiterate what the mayor said, you still have to boil your water before you can drink it, or in the case of many of the people here, drink bottled water. But that does mean that we are coming back to full operation. TCEQ authorized us last night to start taking our regulatory samples today. So we are actually in the process of taking our regulatory compliance samples today and getting those into the lab today. When we get those results back tomorrow, we'll be able to determine whether or not we have any bacteria growth in the system, and we'll be able to lift that boil water notice as soon as we get the all clear. We are working very hard to do that. We are committed to the Monday that we committed to the mayor, but we're hoping to be that one day either side in the right direction. But we've got to make sure that we get those samples back clear and safe, and that our system is good for everybody out there. Now, I also want to address real quick, some of you I was asked yesterday, what if I have low pressure still? And my response to that was, check with your neighbors first. If they have full pressure and you don't have full pressure, start looking around your house for leaks that you're not aware of. The other thing that I was reminded last night, my in-laws called me and said, hey, as soon as we took the strainers off the sink and cleaned out the gunk that was in them and put it back on, we had full pressure in our house. So I would encourage each of you to look at your entire system. If you have water into your house and you don't have leaks, you've identified that, take those strainers off, clean them out. That should help you come back to full service. The next thing I want to do, in addition to everybody up here who's going to thank all of our city employees, I really want to pass a big thank you to our Houston Public Works team that's not in the Houston Water side. Houston Water's been working 24/7, but I'll tell you the teams that we have out here assisting with the distributions today, yesterday, and tomorrow are the same teams that spent Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night in our facilities. Spent the nights there. Without power, without water, and still chose to get up yesterday and today, and we'll get up tomorrow to come out to make sure that we're continuing to take care of Houstonians. I couldn't be prouder of the passion that these people have for serving the Houstonians, and I want you to know that they will continue to show up every day that they need to. Even if they've got busted pipes at home, even if they've got things that they need to deal with at a house, when we ring the bell, they come. And so I want you to know how proud I am of them, but I also want you to thank them. I want you to take an opportunity to say thank you when you see them. So with that, we are going to be, we're not going to be crossing our fingers, but I will take every prayer and every good thought that you have towards our samples coming back. We are confident that our system is stable. We are confident that our system is treating water the way it needs to be treating water, and we are looking forward to good results at some point late tomorrow, and so that we can achieve that Monday timeline. So thank you, Mayor, and I'm gonna let you have the credit for leading us through this.
Let's do it. Yay, Mayor.
I am not an engineer, and so no, I'm not going to take the credit. I do want to thank the Public Works team under the leadership of Director Haddock for working around the clock. This is a large water system that we have, and when your pressure drops to like 15 psi, that's low pressure. To bring it up in this period of time to over 50 and to normalize the system, that's major. I'm still saying Monday. If the news is, if we could get good news prior to, then the credit for that will go directly to all of the employees and the directors and Director Haddock and Public Works. So let's hope and pray for the best. I'll still stand about Monday. Now, the other big issue that we have in the city, of course, are pipes that are bursting across the city. And Councilmember Tasha Jackson is here. Thank you. We're in your district. So thank you. I'll call you up in a second. But pipes that are bursting across the district, and they are irrespective of the district, irrespective of your social economic status, pipes are bursting. And so, but we're all concerned with people who either don't have insurance, don't have the financial means, already stretched thin because of the coronavirus, and so we want to pay special attention to them. I want to certainly thank President Biden for signing the Emergency Disaster Declaration, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee. So I want to thank him for that. And what that means is that it does provide an opportunity for assistance to individuals who have suffered damage. And so let me, when those ceilings cave in because of the bursted pipes, please either video it or take pictures, photos, document it, keep a tab on your bills. The documentation is very important. It will help you in terms of your own household. It will help the city to determine our overall damages. So you're helping yourself, helping the city. So please, and pipes are bursting all over the place, have done so. So please document, do the videos, keep all of your expenses. I know a lot of people with capabilities are going in and getting it done, but there are a lot of other people who simply do not have that means. And because of that, I'm establishing this relief fund. We'll make the announcement on Monday about who will be working with Dave Lazar. Dave Lazar will chair that relief fund. He is the CEO of Centerpoint. He will chair it. Along with 4 representatives, 4 advisors that will be named by myself, 4 that will be named by the county judge. And so for those who are interested in contributing to that relief fund, I would ask that you please do so, because there will be an immediate need even right now. Now let me see what I want to go next. Let me call on Councilmember Tasha Jackson. We are in her district. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. First, I want to say thank you to my mayor and to all the city workers. Everybody's been working so hard to make sure that people have what they need in the district and across the city. You know, this is my first time in government, and so I'm getting a chance to see our machine, our Houston machine, and it's strong. People are just diving in, not just our elected officials and the city staff, but even the community. You know, here in District B, we've been, you know, as a council member, I was down without water, and a lot of the leaders were down without water, and other council members were down without water and without lights. But everybody just, you know, got into gear and started helping each other. We've been distributing water. We've been like making sure people have logs so that they can stay warm. And so right now we're making sure that we're getting a list of people who pipes have burst so that they make sure that they're taken care of when these resources is coming in. I was late because I was just on the call with over 50 leaders across the district, and we're just doing everything we can to make sure that we get back to normal. So again, I want to thank my mayor, Congresswoman Lee, who made sure we got some water yesterday as well. And so everyone is just working really hard. And so thank you. And I know this too shall pass. Thank you.
And then before I'm getting ready to call on Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, let me just say this. The other concerns that I have is on the electric power outages. We are now down to the normal number of outages in the city of Houston, so power has been restored. So we're down to the normal number of people who would go without electricity on any given day. Certainly want to thank Senator Point for stepping up and getting power restored. But the issue that will now follow are the electricity bills.
Yes.
Those are the issues, because the way the system is structured in the state of Texas, the way it works, when the demand exceeds the supply, then generators are able to charge considerably more in providing that power to your transmission and distribution companies. In 2011, if you would check it and we'll provide it, where's Bill Kelly? Bill Kelly, who's over my government affairs team, can provide you with the letter that I wrote in 2011. In addition to the bill that I filed, but the letter that I wrote in 2011, warning that if we did not cap that situation, the bills would be very, very high. And we did not, the legislature did not do that. I wrote a letter in 2011 saying no. We have to address that situation back in 2011 because we had a similar situation across the state then, and we failed to do it. So my concern now is that people may be getting very high electricity bills because all across the state within the ERCOT market grid, the demand far exceeded the supply, and generators could substantially increase the cost of their electricity, the product that they were providing. So we do need to address that, because that would be an added burden. Can you imagine people whose ceilings have fallen in, people who have been without power for several days, and the next thing they get is a bill, and that bill is exorbitantly high? So the state does need to address that situation. We'll see what unfolds, but I look forward to working with them in doing that. And then with respect to the legislative action that they are preparing to have, these hearings, I hope that they will invite mayors from across the state into that invited testimony. It would be haphazard to have hearings and invited testimony without including representatives from the cities who have had to deal with this situation on a day in and day out basis. And so there are means and methods that could have been utilized years ago, at least 10 years ago, and we need to make sure that it is comprehensive in terms of the reforms. The other thing is that ERCOT cannot be made to be the scapegoat itself. You cannot deal with what happened over the last week without including the Public Utility Commission in these reforms. You must include the Public Utility Commissions and reforms because they provide direct oversight over ERCOT. And all of those commissioners are appointed by the governor. Okay? So you can't just deal with ERCOT without dealing with the Public Utility Commission. And Mayor, how do you know? Because I sat on the committee that oversees our electric system for 23 of my 27 years. So you can't deal with ERCOT without dealing with the Public Utility Commission. And the makeup of ERCOT is critically important because your chairman does not even reside in the state of Texas, and 5 of the members of the board outside the state of Texas. So there are a number of things that we need to do as we move forward. The point is, I know the sun is shining, but with climate change, these type of weather anomalies can take place almost any time and anywhere. So there are a number of things that we need to do. I look forward to working with our federal partners, our state partners, local partners to address the needed reforms as we move forward. Now let me bring on Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
Mayor, let me say to you that I think I can, as a senior member of this delegation, indicate to you that you will have every aspect of support from your congressional delegation, and I hope it is bipartisan support on the issues that you have brought up and we will be supporters and collaborators with our state legislators. But I will tell you, we will be looking in Washington for a full federal investigation and seek the investigation of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And as you have indicated, we have lived in an isolated structure. We're not on the national grid, and that was done in order to avoid oversight and federal responsibilities that would require the hardening of assets like the nuclear plant, the gas, and the windmills. Let me just say that the mayor has a magic touch. So, Mayor, thank you for the sunshine. I'm so grateful to be able to say my mayor has done it again. I want to acknowledge the backdrop. We heard a lot of the sounds coming out, move the car, move that. There's no group better than the City of Houston workers. Many of you have faded memories. I used to be on the Houston City Council, and I know it well that they are a great and grand group. And so I want to just give my personal thanks. That includes, I know for sure, for a fact, Mayor, that your paramedics will go into a house at 12 midnight of a senior citizen about to freeze to death. Your paramedics or the first responders and police officers have been at every giveaway and water giveaway to help our citizens. Let me thank our Public Works Director and Susan, the logistical genius. That is all, and all your team. I know I can't, everybody looks, as they say, disguised. Let me thank our council members, plural, Robinson, and of course,
Alcorn's here.
She got that hat on. Councilmember Alcorn, police officers, and of course, Tasha Jackson, a relative. Don't tell anybody about that. Let me just very briefly say, Mayor, that we listen to all of you and work very hard to get the individual assistance that's coming out. Just to explain to everybody, the president signed this about midnight or somewhere thereafter it came out, and FEMA indicated that we have what we call the individual assistance. So everybody should know that you need to go to your insurance company first if you are a renter or if you are a homeowner. Renter or homeowner. FEMA will go where you are not able to get covered. Those of you who are not covered, as the mayor said, please get all of your receipts. This is individual coverage. And when you get your receipts, you can call 1-800-621-3362, 1-800-621-3362, and this should also be for the uninsured. This should also be for the uninsured, so don't fear. Get your receipts together. The website is www.disasterassistance.gov, and check with your congressional offices of wherever you are living in order to be able to be assisted in the individual assistance. We fought for the personal or public assistance, which the mayor spoke about, and so we're not going to let up. More information needs to come in. The mayor needs you to send your information in. The number is 211, I think, that is receiving this information, 211 to receive information for the local entities. And then I just gave you the number. I'm going to give the number again, 1-800-621-3362, and www.disasterassistance.gov. Let me conclude by saying that I have renamed the city of Houston to the City of Continuing Love, because that is what we see here with all of the volunteers and all of the people who went out of their house and they opened up their kitchen, and a gentleman who had cancer who was giving out $10,000, Brother Max, who we know. All of these individuals are, in fact, our angels, and they give continuing love. I want to leave you with this thought, that all that we've been through as adults, just be reminded of what the children have been through. They've been out of school for a week, many of them shivering and not understanding how it could ever get so cold. And so I am glad that we're giving out water. I'm glad that we're giving out food, but let's continue, because they're going to have a real need for a turnaround, and our elders as well. Mayor, I want to join you in any efforts for well checks. I know that your city health department has already done that. It's a big city. We know that there are people who are not yet out, or relatives don't know where they are. And so I want to be able to be as helpful as possible. Let me just say to Dr. Hilliard, I didn't save you. There she is. Let me just say, what a mighty use of this facility. What a walking angel your church family happened to be. And you put up people during Hurricane Harvey. I was out here. You're using this facility for the very best, and I'm very grateful to it. And so I want to thank you for that. And, you know, it's not good to have to turn on your own community or your own state and say, get investigated. But if there is a need for criminal charges in some instance, we need not be afraid of getting this thing cleaned up. I like the mayor's comment that we can't blame one group or another, but we have to get to the bottom of it. And the Biden administration has committed to us appropriations to help us harden our facilities and to put in a regulatory scheme structure that can help us be I was going to say international, but we're almost, because they say that we interact with Mexico, national transmissions that we can reach and receive energy from other states and give energy when other states are in need. So thank you, Mayor, very much. We'll thank you for the sunshine. We'll continue to work together.
Thank you very much. And I want to acknowledge our firefighters, EMS workers who have been going over and above. I want to acknowledge all of them for the work that they do. Please give it up to our firefighters. Appreciate them. And then want to acknowledge HPD. I see Chief Satterwhite there and all of our police officers, because they help to provide the, logistics for people coming in. When you got thousands of cars that are coming in, and they not only do it at this site, they're doing it at pretty much multiple sites throughout the city of Houston. So resources are stretched thin, but they may make it work. So please give it up to HPD. Chief Satterwhite, thank you very much. Trustee Kathy Bluford-Daniel, if you come closer, I do want to acknowledge, again, Director Kenny Allen with Parks and Rec. They've got about 50 employees that are out here. So thank you, Director, for what you are doing and your whole team. Director Margaret Wallace-Brown from Planning. So let me tell you, even the pencil pushers and the mappers and, you know, during this crisis, they go from being pencil pushers to toting water. So,
we give them the mask.
I'm sorry, they're giving out the mask. So I do want to acknowledge them. The point that I'm making is that whether you're in communications, Mary Benton and her team, whether you're in government affairs with Bill Kelly, whatever department you're in, it's all hands on deck. And it doesn't matter who you are, we all come together to do our part. And so I've got people from my international diplomacy section that are out here. So I cannot tell you just how proud I am of our departments. I want to make this point, and then I want to close with Kathy Bluford-Daniel, who's the trustee for HISD. Because, in fact, trustee, why don't you come on? Because HISD, they're not returning until Wednesday. So why don't you come on?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee. Thank you all for being out here. Thank you, Councilmember Tarsha Jackson. Thank you, all the council members. And Reb, we can't thank you enough, Reb Hilliard. And so, Dr. Hilliard. And so, want to use these titles correctly. We want to thank you all for being here. We were on the phone, Tarsha and I, about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night with people who were concerned and complaining about not being in the Northeast, not having distribution in the Northeast. So we were sending messages as late as 11 o'clock last night, 11:30 last night, and this morning so we could get people over here. So I also want to make mention, too, that our children are returning to school the week after. Now, what they will be doing is they will be doing virtual learning Thursday and Friday, so the teachers will be in class. And the following week, I think March 3rd, March 1st, they're going in back into the classroom. So we need to make note of that because everybody's been impacted. Everybody's been affected. And so we want to get our kids back in those classrooms and get them to learning and get them back on track. So thank you all again, Mayor, for coming out here, Congresswoman, Councilmember Jackson, everyone for coming out here on the Northeast side. Thank you.
And then just 2 points, and I'll be through. On yesterday, the United States returned to the Paris Agreement, to the Paris Accord. That's good news. So yesterday they returned to it. Why is that important? Because climate change is real. Now let me speak directly as I chair the U.S. the U.S. Climate Mayors. That's about 470 mayors from across the country, from red cities to blue cities. It's the U.S. Climate Mayors. Let me speak specifically to legislators and others who are blaming what happened this week on the use of renewables. Now, that is so far-fetched, because it wasn't just the wind turbines that froze. Natural gas facilities froze. Coal-fired plants froze. Nuclear plants came offline and froze. Okay? So for anybody that attempts to blame what happened this week in Texas on renewables, being totally disingenuous. The reality is that many of those renewable plants continue to produce energy itself. So what is important to bear in mind is that the climate is getting warmer, and we have to address the issue of climate change even in the state of Texas. So there are structural changes that need to take place, but I simply want to debunk anybody who contends that what happened this week was due to renewable energy. They're trying to deflect where the real responsibility lies, and you don't want to do that, because that's miseducating folk. And then lastly, as we deal with the cold, we also deal with COVID. So the vaccine shots resume today in the city of Houston. Testing resumes, okay, today. So bear in mind that now, next week, we will have to double our efforts in the city of Houston. The FEMA site, mass distribution site, will start on schedule on the 22nd. And that's about 42,000 doses in the week alone. But in addition to that, from our regular allotment and what we do, from the health department to our other partners, the goal is for this coming week to vaccine more than 100,000 people in the city of Houston. We'll double our efforts. And so as we deal with the cold and the effects, we are still dealing with COVID, so please bear that in mind. I want to thank everybody for being out. I know it went a little bit long. I apologize for all of that, but the information is important. Questions now from anyone?
Yes, Mayor. About your fund for financial help, when and how can people apply for that?
Those details will be coming out on Monday. We'll announce the persons who will be in charge of that fund, and these are non-city, non-county people who will be in charge, and they will be responsible for raising money for it, and then also for putting together the details on how that fund will operate.
Okay, and another question, a lot of kids are not going to school all week, and they'll be missing meals. Is there any plan to feed those kids? Or
hey, let me bring up Kathy Blue for Daniel, trustee, but also, for example, even today, right here at New Life, there are food distributions. In fact, I'm going to have them both speak. Let me turn first now to trustee Kathy Blue for Daniel.
Thank you. In answer to your question, people need to go to www.houstonISD.org, and there is a schedule on the website for where the food distribution sites will be, all through next week and through next Saturday.
Dr. Alicia, hear you.
So today and also every first and third Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. we do food distribution. It's right here on the campus of New Light Church, Love City, and it's at Minnie's Food Pantry. You can go to our website, newlight.org, for more information.
Director Kenny Allen from Parks and Rec.
You can go to HoustonParks.org. We'll be feeding at 19. You can go to HoustonParks.org. Thank you. You can go to HoustonParks.org. We're feeding at 19 community centers after school.
And then we'll also be providing what you call the meals that's ready to eat. But the MREs, we're providing MREs to all of the council members to distribute to people in their respective districts and across the city. So that's taking place. I think we're planning to get those out either today or tomorrow. So a number of things that are taking place. We recognize that, look, before this week took place, there were food insecurities in our city. This has just made things worse. So it's all hands on deck until we get through it. Even after people's homes are repaired, lights on, water pressure up, there will be many people who will be dealing with this crisis for weeks and months to come. Any other questions? Are we good? We good? Thank you all so very, very much.
Did y'all get in the